Yes, we're here at last. The final of the Cheap Lager Championship. So, before we have a look at the table, we're going to introduce our finalists. So, these are the two that got to the final of the championship. On my left, we have got the Crown Lager from Sainsbury's. And there you go, Sainsbury's Bog Standard Lager. It made it all the way through to the final. We'll talk about its route in a minute. And that is up against the Biere, the Biere Deluxe from Asda, the French style lager. There, 4 cans for £4, as I keep saying. But let's have a little look at the table to see the routes that these took. Now, the table is just going from the quarter-final there. But if you remember rightly, the Crown, the Crown actually lost to the Feldschlossen and was given essentially a bye into the quarterfinals because it took the place of the Budweiser, which was disqualified at the same time as the Feldschlossen was disqualified because the Feldschlossen was just too good to be in the championship. So it's interesting that the Crown has made it all the way to the final after losing to the Feldschlossen in that first round. And then after that, the Crown went up against the Coors in my newly adjusted quarterfinals, and it just moved past the Coors, beat it easily, and then went up against the Cold Beer Lager, which was quite a close one, in the semi-final to book its place in the final. The Biere Deluxe had a slightly different route because it didn't lose to anything. It beat the Fosters in the first round really, which set it up against the Carters in the quarter-final. It moved in through past the Carters, which then give it its semi-final match up against the Ashfield Lager, and then it's just eased its way through a lot of these beers really. It's been a really good beer, a really strong contender. Here it is, the Biere Deluxe. It's got a lot of flavour. It's just a slightly different flavour profile to a lot of the other lagers in the championship. So it'll be interesting to see how this final goes. So this is going to be slightly different. I'm not going to cut away. I'm going to do this in one go because I'm not going to do this blind. Let's get the glasses. So here's the glasses. So I'm not going to do this blind because I'm going to know which is which out of these two. I'll tell the difference between these two. There's no point in doing a blind taste test really, because as soon as I taste them, I'm going to know which is which anyway. So I might as well just pour them and talk about them and just do a nice little objective taste test. It might be slightly shorter than some of the semi-finals because I'm not sure if I could go on for half an hour. Let's have a little bit of water, but yeah, I mean, what can I say about this? The Crown, it's been a good one, and I forgot that this lost to the Feldschlossen in the first round, but if I remember it rightly, the Feldschlossen at first I didn't think tasted that amazing, and probably because compared to the Crown it wasn't that amazing. But then when I started drinking it further on in the evening, I thought there's no way this beer should be allowed in the competition. It's just too good. So the Feldschlossen, as I say, will be in the next championship, and meanwhile this is representing essentially the Feldschlossen, and where the Feldschlossen would have gone. As I say, beat the Coors, beat the Brewdog, and now it's up against the Biere Deluxe. Biere Deluxe has beaten, 3 beers now to get to the final. And has it had much of a competition? I think so. I think it's just been absolute steamrolling over the competition at the moment. I mean, Ashfield Lager was pretty good, had quite a nice flavour. We had good flavour compared to the Skull, good flavour compared to the Excelsior, but when it comes up against this one, this has got a lot of flavour. I've got to say, it's a very flavourful lager indeed. If you want a flavourful lager at 4%, which isn't very dear, you can't get better than this really. But again, that flavour profile, it's slightly different than what you might expect from a lager. If you prefer your kind of German Helles style lagers, or even your Spanish style lagers, Italian, this isn't like that. This has got a little bit more of a kind of a Belgian style to it, I think, and it's interesting, very interesting. These have been out of the fridge for a bit now, so they're not ice cold. They're going to be warm enough to get the flavour. I do want to give the Crown a bit of a fighting chance because it's definitely the underdog here, so we want to be able to get a bit of flavour out of this. 500ml can, 4% ABV. 4 cans for £4. As I say, scaled down, make it £3 something. Still more expensive than this, which was I think about £2.50. Might have been a bit less for 4 cans, 3.4% ABV. Absolute steal at that price, really is the Crown. Let's get cracking these open anyway. So I'm going to crack these open, I'm going to pour them on camera. With no cutting away here because I'm going to be doing the pouring. There's no point in doing a blind taste test. I was wondering whether to get different glasses for this, but nah, let's just do these ones. So we're going to do We're not going to do full glasses. We're going to do enough wiggle room. That's it's very lively. Biere Deluxe, very lively indeed. I know that Belgian beers can be quite lively. What is that? What kind of yeast are they using? They're not. I mean, surely that's not going to be a thing that they're not going to be able to produce this. Not going to be able to use decent yeast and produce this at that price, surely. But it's weird how it's frothing up a lot, as some of the French and Belgian beers do, which is interesting, because that was very lively. Let's see the crown. Let's see if the crown's lively. No, you see the crown's not lively at all there. It's trying to get a bit of a head there. There we go. We got about. There you go. Oh, there you go. It's got some head on that. Not quite as lively as this one was, because that one I was trying to give it a good pour there. Is that enough? Should we put a bit more in? Let's put a bit more of this in. But yeah, it is. It's quite a lively beer, that one. This one, not quite as lively. But there we go. We got the Biere Deluxe, we got the crown, and let's have a see. There's no this is which one's which or any of that. Should I put them? Right, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll pop that there, and there we go. Right, so I've got my water. I'll probably put my water over here, out of the way, because we've got quite a lot here, haven't we? We've got the cans and the glasses. Can't remember how I did this with the other ones. I know the supermarket one, the premium one. I didn't do that blind, but then I did do the final of the ultimate blind. But that was one where I wouldn't have known which one was which, so it's just as well. I did it blind. That's a decent pour. How much have I got of that one? There's about the same of each there. Let's just leave it like that. So, Biere Deluxe, crown. I'm keeping the cans here so we know which is which. So, first of all, let's get a nose on the old... Well, should we look at them again? There's no point looking at them. They're the same colour. I mean, I think the crown's a little bit lighter than the Biere Deluxe, but I'm really going to be putting these to their paces. I know what kind of thing to expect. I'm going to get more flavour from this one than from this one. I'm going to rate the nose as well, because as I said in the last video, the nose is a lot. You know, there is quite a lot still in the nose. Just sitting there smelling the beer can be nice and pleasurable as well. So, the nose, we are going to give quite a bit to the nose, as well as just the taste. Also thinking about how lastable it's going to be, whether after a few cans of this I'm going to be a bit sick of that taste. I don't know, to be honest. I just had a little smell of it then. It does smell amazing. It's a really nice smell to it. Let's get smelling this one anyway. We're gonna get a proper nose on this one. So yeah, so we've got a little bit again those kind of fruit characters, a little bit of raisin, Christmas cake, touch of banana, a little bit of orange peel. Interesting. Yeah, it's very interesting that. There's a little bit of malt there as well. Quite citrusy up front. Very interesting on the nose, that. It really is. And it does smell just like it tastes. So let's get a nose on this one now, the crown. Let's give it a little bit of a swill. Okay, let's go. Much more of a savoury nose, that. And I've said before a few times on this one, I've said it's quite floral, quite fragrant, quite fresh air, a bit angry. A little bit of smoke as well. A little bit of smoke in the background on that one. Very interesting, very complex. Yeah, there is a little bit of smoke in there. A little bit of smoke, a little bit of petrol in the smell. How weird. That's strange. Maybe it's just compared to that one. But yeah, there's all kinds of... some kind of fruits. Possibly a little bit of pear, a bit of apple. Strange. Very strange aroma, that. It's you're not smelling much malt in the smell, to be honest, there actually. Just smells very fresh and very fragrant. A little bit piney. Very odd, very odd. I don't think they say much about these beers and how they're brewed or where they're brewed, or... I mean, eyesight's going now as well, so certainly for reading things up close. So, yeah, it doesn't give us much information about where it's brewed or how it's brewed. It's London. It was brewed and packed in the UK for Sainsbury's. So there you go. So it's brewed specially for Sainsbury's in the UK. This way, let's say where this was selected for Asda. So this implies this is brewed by someone else. So this is packed in France. So I'm assuming if it's packed in France, I should have looked at this before, but I'm assuming if it's packed in France, it's brewed in France as well. So that's interesting. A French beer that's brewed in France. It's not going to be brewed over here and then packed in France, is it? So, yeah, so it's packed in France for Asda, and I'm assuming, or I'm wondering whether this is actually a beer, a French beer, that they also brew, or they also send off to Asda. So you never know. It might just be repackaged. Just a French beer that's repackaged for Asda supermarkets. Which possibly explains why it does have a very, I think, a very authentic, almost kind of Belgian-y smell. I don't know much about French lagers. I've not had a lot of French lagers really that I've, you know, brewed over in France. But I have had a few Belgian lagers that have been brewed over in Belgium and other Belgian beers. And that's what this puts me in mind of. It puts me in mind of a Belgian beer. And that creamy, banana-y kind of smell is something I get with Belgian yeast. I mean, obviously this is not brewed with the same yeast as Rochefort 10, don't get me wrong, I assume, but maybe the kind of yeast they use in French brewing is similar as well. I know some beers are brewed with like champagne yeast, which gives them kind of like a bit of a liveliness and can also give them a bit of that smell. Again, I've no idea how this is brewed, but it's food for thought. It's looking like a slam dunk, this, I won't lie. I think everything I'm learning about this beer is actually giving it points. But that is interesting. That's interesting. Get a little bit of lemon and lime in there as well now. Anyway, I've smelt them for long enough. I'm going to have a bit more of a swill, and then we're going to get tasting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this one this time, just because with this one having more flavour, if I go for this one first, this one might taste a little bit too weak. So we'll go for this one, and if that one blows my head off when I've tried this one, then well, we'll see. We'll see when we come to it. Let's have a bit of a taste of this one. Cheers. Some nice, subtle flavours. There is a subtle kind of lemon note in it. Bit of malt. A little bit wafery. Bit of bitterness. Very pleasant, very pleasant. And quite smooth as well. It's got a little bit fizzy on the top. It's quite smooth. Quite such a cheap beer. It is surprisingly smooth. It's not gassy. It's quite standard, quite pedestrian, but does have a little bit of a nice aftertaste, nice buttery aftertaste there. And as I say, a little bit of lemon in the taste. It's got a surprisingly complex taste for such a cheap beer. Don't be expecting too much. Don't get this thinking it's got a complex taste, but it hasn't. But it's got quite a complex taste for the price. Let's have a little bit of this. I'd certainly say for all those beers that are less than £3 for a 4-pack, so your Galahad, Excelsior, Ashfield, Morrison's Own, this one, and Carter's. So all those, out of all those, this is the best. So there you go. But this one is stronger, and we'll see what how it compares against this one. So here we go. Let's have a taste on this one anyway. Cheers. Yeah, I mean, I hate to say this. And there was always the danger that this might happen. In that it's just too good, this one. It's really nice. It's a really nice beer. And in a championship that is saturated with just awful beers with no taste whatsoever, I can kind of say this is the only beer in the entire tournament that's really got any flavour that you don't have to search for. And it's just hard. I've been trying to act like this is not going to win it all the way through, but it's just, it's a shame, but it's also kind of a good thing. I don't know. I mean, let's have another go on this one. It is good, that one though. It is good. I think the one that's got the biggest chance of giving this one a run for its money is this one. My question as well in my head is like, should I have put the cold beer lager through and put that up against this? I don't think so. No, I don't think the cold beer lager would have stood a chance against this because as I said before, the flavours in the cold beer lager were very much kind of citrus and melted ice cube. Not a lot of beer flavour. This one has got the best chance. I put this through because I knew it would have the best chance against the Biere Deluxe or the Ashfield. But the thing about the Biere Deluxe is it's got a slightly different flavour profile. It's got those kind of raisiny notes and banana in there, but which wouldn't be nice. It would be I don't know. It would kind of send it a little bit off balance if it wasn't for the bitterness. They've got a lovely bitterness, and every time I try and find a little bit of fault in the flavour, that bitterness comes up and says, "No, I'm here. I'm a proper beer. I am a proper beer, and I am this. I'm Biere Deluxe. I'm a French style lager, and it really is. It does a really good job of being a French style lager." And in these tournaments where the Hellas's are just taking over, they're just winning left, right and centre. It's nice that neither of these are particularly a Hellas style lager. Neither of these are particularly malt forward. Oh, that's got a lovely buttery, biscuity finish. It's really coming through now that it's warming up a bit. But like with the finals, I always do this. I always weigh up all the options. I always, I'm loving this final. I love sitting here weighing up all the options, not just sort of saying, okay, yeah, that's better than that. I mean, it's about when do you want to drink the beer? What experience do you want for the beer? This is a really cracking beer. If you want some beers to watch the football with or something, in the middle of summer, or just something in the garden with a barbecue, just something that's got a bit of flavour, a bit of taste. It's lovely and refreshing. It's really drinkable. It's cracking from the can. It's cracking from the glass. It's just a decent cheap lager. Then get this over Galahad, get it over Excelsior, certainly get it over Carling, Carlsberg or Foster's. It's really good. But if you want something a little bit more special, something to almost give you that kind of Belgian ale kind of experience, it's almost bordering on a weak Belgian ale. It does, to me, it has those kind of flavours. It really does, and it's like. But this is a lager championship. But this is a lager. It should be allowed in it. So this is what my head's doing at the moment. My head's thinking, this is a lager. It's very simple to say, oh, the Crown's the best. Because it's just a lager. It's a lager. It's a cheap lager. This is the cheap lager championships. This is a cheap lager. This is the best cheap lager. But this is also a cheap lager. I can't disqualify this. I haven't been able to disqualify this for any reason whatsoever. Had I kept this Feldschlossen in, I'm sorry, but, Oh. Interesting. This is going to be longer than it previously was. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I do have this in the fridge. I think I might have 2 cans of this in the fridge. So this is going to be warming up now while I finish this off, and then we're going to try this against the winner. So we have got a can of Feldschlossen there. We're just going to see. We're going to taste test it against that. Wow, what an interesting thing's happening now. This is crazy. What a long video this is going to be. And I'm here saying it's not going to be a 30-minute video. This is going to be quite a big video. I might put a little edit in the middle just in case my camera has trouble with recording a massive long video in one go. Probably doesn't, but I don't want to risk it. So I'll probably finish this off as the taste test, and then I'm going to do a little bit of an extra bit where I'm going to pour some Feldschlossen and compare this to the Feldschlossen. So there we go. Or this one, if it wins. But this is the front runner. This is, I mean, my finals, as people who've seen them in the past, are a bit like a race, a bit like a horse race or something. So at the moment, this one is in the lead. This one looks like it's going to win. It's about, I don't know, whatever. I've forgotten what the words are now for horse racing. Lengths, is it? It's about 4 lengths ahead of this one now, but it doesn't mean that it's going to win. Let's go on this one again. So we're going backwards and forwards. Yeah, there's a nice bit of lemoniness in there. Bit of lemoniness, bit of crispness, bit of citrus, but in the background, I'm loving it. Some of these beers, where I've talked about it tasting like a lager and lime, you know, and a synthetic lemoniness, like just squirted a bit of lemon in it. Those kind of beers could learn a bit from this. This has it in the background. I don't know how, I don't know why, but it's got a lovely bit of lemon in the background, and it is in the background. It just keeps it refreshing, and it keeps it just interesting. And it's, you know, that's, yeah, I mean, yeah, a bit of lemon in the background there. It's a cracking beer, this one. It really is a cracking beer. Yeah, I mean, it's looking like, yeah. So I'm going to crown the winner now. I think these have raced long. These horses have raced long enough now. I'm going to finish off the crown in that glass. I'm going to leave a bit of the Biere Deluxe in the can because I am going to get the Feldschlossen out, and we're going to have a look at how that would have fared. But I might leave some in these glasses, get a third glass for the Feldschlossen, and just have a bit of a, you know, go backwards and forwards between all 3 of them. But the way it's looking, the Biere Deluxe is going to win. It's going to be the winner, the Biere Deluxe. Let's face it. It just is. It's got another dimension. And you might not like that. You might not like that extra dimension. I would recommend trying this and seeing what you think. It won't be to everyone's palate. As I say, it does have a little bit of a Belgian ale style to it. This one is just standard lager. Standard lager. You know, this is just standard lager, and it's really good. Cheap standard lager, and it's not got too much flavour. So if you like a nice, I don't know, nice lager and lime, and you're not too much of a beer person, then this would make it a really good lager and lime. It's good. It is good. It's good, but this is better. So let's do the whole announcement. Then let's do the winner. So the winner of the cheap lager championship. Let's move this one out of the way. That's the runner-up. Crown Lager from Sainsbury's, and I can honestly say it is the second best as well. Sometimes the run-up isn't always the second best, but the winner of the cheap lager championship has got to be the Asda's Biere Deluxe. So there you go, the Asda Biere Deluxe, the winner of the cheap lager championship, which is something I possibly could have called when I set up the quarterfinals, really. But really, it was nice to give other things a chance. That Crown got very close, I think. That Crown is a good beer. It's a very good beer. Got a lot closer than the Ashfield did. So there we go. So that Crown beer, it's a good job that it didn't get knocked out by the Feldschlossen in the first round, because it wouldn't have had a chance to shine. And it had a chance to shine. The Biere Deluxe, cracking beer. But now I'm going to sort of do a little bit of a cut and then come back, because we're going to crack open a Feldschlossen and see how that fares against well, these two really. Let's just drink a few beers and have a little bit of a chat. See you in a minute. And I'm back with my beer merchant's glass. Let's just chuck out some of the water that I rinsed it right with. And I'm back with the Feldschlossen's a bit colder. There's nothing we can do about that. This was a spur of the moment thing. Right, there's the Crown. I put the Crown can over here, so you know that one's the Crown. I'll put the Biere Deluxe can over here, so you know the one on the right is Biere Deluxe, and then we'll have the Feldschlossen in the middle as the main thing. So there we go. So there's your Biere Deluxe on the right. We've got Feldschlossen in the middle. Let's crack it open. I didn't think I was going to be doing a third one today. So yeah, but why not? Why not? I've got the Feldschlossen. It's a bit colder, but that will make it have a bit less flavour anyway. But let's just do this as well. Let's do a bit of Feldschlossen and just compare it to the other two. I'm enjoying this so much, why not? So, put that's that way around. There we go. So there's your Feldschlossen in the middle. Feldschlossen in the middle. You got your Biere Deluxe there, crown on there. Let's have a little look. So, let's do a bit of a review of the Feldschlossen. Because I did say I was going to do this, didn't I? I did say I would. I mean, the Feldschlossen will still be in the next knockout, even if I come to the conclusion that it's not as good as the Biere Deluxe. But the Feldschlossen's not eligible anyway, really, because it's too high ABV. So that's giving me a similar nose to that one, but stronger. Really. I mean, it's lighter in colour, I think, than these other beers, where it seems a bit more pale straw. It's going for more of a German vibe. But yeah, interesting. That's quite floral in character, quite piney in the nose. Let's have a go on it. Cheers. Yeah, so that's got a new level of bitterness. It's very dry. It's got a new level of bitterness, and it's like this one but amped up, I would say. Although there is that lemony taste in that one, which is really good, real bonus for that. But those kind of other flavours, the biscuity aftertaste, the floralness of it, the fragrancy of it, is just stronger in this. And even though this one is colder, it's got a lovely Pilsner bite to it. It's lovely and dry, it's lovely and crisp, it's really clean. One thing I would say about this is it's not clean. As I say, it's got some slightly Weizenbeery character to it, it's got some kind of Belgian ale character to it, which I would consider not a crisp, clean taste. This has really got a kind of it's almost like a half Pilsner and half Helles vibes to it. Not brimming with flavour, don't get me wrong. It's really crisp though. Really crisp, really clean, lovely aftertaste. Yeah, absolutely nice aftertaste that. I'm enjoying drinking this more than I'm enjoying drinking either of these two, but to be honest, that one, not a million miles off this one. Biere Deluxe, whack the rest in. And 500ml can. I can't remember how much the Feldschlossen was now, but I think the Feldschlossen was cheaper than this, and you get from the same supermarket as well. So both from Asda, both 500ml cans. This was £4 for 4. I think this is about £3 something, £3.50, £3.70 maybe for 4. So, but there you go. I mean, you know, Feldschlossen. I mean, what does it say about this? To say where this is brewed. So this is produced in France. Oh, okay. So this is brewed in France, with German writing all over it. Interesting. So yeah. So there you go. So it's brewed in France. And that's all it says, and then there's just the same thing written in lots of different things. But it's brewed according to the German purity law. So it's almost like I wonder if they're brewed by the same people. I wonder if Feldschlossen and Biere Deluxe are brewed by the same people, but just brewed as different styles. Who knows? If anybody knows any information about these, by the way, just let me know. Comments down below. Just stick it in. It's yeah, beer, shank beer, whatever shank. I don't know what shank beer is, but there you go. So see, well, yeah, interesting, very, very interesting indeed. Yeah, so it doesn't say a huge amount of stuff really there. This one does say hops extract though, which is interesting. I don't know what that means, but I don't know. I still like the taste of the beer though. And that one, yeah, nice. Okay, what is the conclusion now before I end up finishing 3 beers? They're all really nice. That's one conclusion. They're all very different. They're all very nice and very different. Okay, I'm going to give the crown to this one. Okay, this one. Well, it is what it is. Let's face it. It's Feldschlossen. It's good. It's nice. It's crisp. It's crisp. It's dry. It's got a nice bitterness. It's the real deal. This is the real deal. It's the real deal. It's just a different. I think it's just a different level. This is really good at the slightly lower level. So they're quite similar. I'd say quite similar in how good I think they are, to be honest. And on some days I'd rather have this one, and some days I'd rather have this one. I think from a level perspective, that is one level higher than that. Just because it just tastes, it just tastes so crisp, and this one, it's just the way it's been brewed, the style that it's been brewed has lent itself more to having more flavour out of it. I think this is punching well above its weight in the lower league, as it were. So this is like too good for the lower division. This is not quite struggling, but it's near the bottom of the higher division. That's the kind of thing, and so it doesn't mean that this one's better than this one. It just means it's playing in a higher division. This one, it's competing against higher competition. This one could really take on the big boys, and do you know what? I might actually do that. If anybody wants to comment down below before I do my next tournament. My next tournament, as I've said, is going to be for everything. Well, I'll say everything else for standard lagers. So that's everything from this Biere Deluxe kind of thing, quality, all the way up to sort of Warsteiner quality. So standard. Lots and lots of beers in that category. I'm saying, like, you know, Warstein's not exactly the pinnacle of quality, but that's the kind of thing we're looking at. We're talking about the Heinekens, the Holsten Pils, here's the Stellas, the Budweisers. There's Rheinbacher's, Perlenbacher's. There's an endless list. I'm creating a list at the moment, and there's so many beers on the list. It's crazy. I've got more than enough for a 32 beer championship. I don't think I'll have a 64 beer championship, but I'm probably going to have to have some preliminary rounds before we start the 32 beer championships. It's going to be a 32 beer championship. There's going to be loads of beers out there to use for it. And what can I say? And I'm possibly going to put the Biere Deluxe in there as well, just because it deserves to go in there. Oh yeah, Feldschlossen's definitely going there. That's Champignelles or whatever it is in Asda. That's going to go in there as well. In fact, I need to add it to my list because I don't think it is. There's all kinds of supermarket own brand stuff as well. Aldi, Asda do a premium beer, which is dearer than this. It's not like this. It's like, I think it's like a German style one, but they do their own kind of premium Pilsner, which is dearer and higher ABV. So I didn't make it into this championship. That's going to go in there as well. Dead excited, can't wait to do it. There's going to be so many beers in there, and I've just realised that we've got like Aldi's own version of Madri and Aldi's own version of San Miguel, but we've also got Lidl's own version of Madri and Lidl's own version of San Miguel. So it's going to be absolutely crazy. The number of beers that I'm getting for this championship is going to be immense. So stay tuned for that, everybody. Anyway, this has been a nice long video, so apologies for that. Or if you enjoyed it, then I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thanks for bearing with me. Thanks for anybody who's watched the whole championship, because it means a lot. That's going down now because it's not the moment for that. It's the moment for this. It's the moment for the winner. So we'll just give the winner one more bit of time in the spotlight. So there it is, the Biere Deluxe, the winner of the Cheap Lager Championship. And there you go. That's it. No more to be said. Until next time, have a good one.